Hello everyone, and welcome to the session 6 of Pitch Deck Mastery with SIRE. This time, our event is about using AI and image processing in some interesting application by Dr. Fattah Alizadeh, which is the founder of Smart Eyes, Smart Eagle Eyes. And we have two expert judges, Mr. Amir Peivandi, CTO at Aventura AI, and Ms. Shany product leader at BCAA. Before we start, I just wondering to give you a quick note about the filming and photography of these events and publishing these photos and videos in our social media. The copyright of all the material of these videos and pictures are by SIRE, and SIRE is not responsible for the accuracy or correctness of the statements made by speakers at our events. The other things I want to give you a heads up about our two other events happening next week on June 27 is today, so it will be in July 6th, I think. Yes, July 6th, and the other one will be in July 31st. We have 3 weeks gap between them, and we will proceed with sessions 8 at that time. Okay, before I go ahead with pitch deck, I wonder that the judges, Amir and Shany, please introduce yourself, and then Fattah will start the presentation. Amir, could you please go ahead with your introducing yourself?
Absolutely. Thank you very much for inviting me. Amir Peivandi. I'm the CTO and founder of Aventura AI. Mostly been working in financial domain, banks and insurance industry over the last 30 years or so. And over the last year, decided to start building my own business and ideas. And I've been working on it for the last year. I'm happy to be part of the judge board here.
Thank you. Shany, please go ahead.
Nice to meet you all. I'm Shany. I'm very much focused on product strategy and growth. I currently work with a company called BCAA, insurance tech company, and my focus is product innovation as part of a group called the Strategic Ventures. I'm also an ex-founder and very much active within the startup ecosystem, supporting startups on the product front, within Techstars and outside of it. Nice to meet you all.
Fantastic, thank you. So Fattah, please start your presentation. Once Fattah is done the presentation, our two judges will give feedback, and then the audience, if they want have any comments or questions, they can ask their questions. Okay, Dr. Fattah, please go ahead.
Thank you. Just firstly, can you tell me how many minutes do I have?
Around 10 to 12 minutes.
Okay. Okay, good afternoon. Thank you very much for having me here, and very nice to meet you. I'm Fattah Alizadeh. I'm founder of Smart Eagle Eyes company, and I would like to share with you my pitch deck today. So let me share. Just can you confirm that you see the presentation?
Yes, we can.
Yep. Okay, good afternoon again. So today I'm here to present my pitch deck, which is entitled Vision Guide. Okay, before starting everything, just I would like to say what Vision Guide is. Actually, in a very, very short description, it is an AI-based platform for enhancing indoor mobility for the visually impaired people. Actually, it is a tool which uses AI to help people which are suffering from any type of vision loss, partially or the severe case. About the problem that we are going to deal with, as per the estimates that we have, almost 1.5 million Canadians have part of vision loss. And in North America, including USA, almost 7 million in USA people have visual disability. And around the world, almost 43 million blind people and almost around 300 million people that there are called MSVI, which is moderate to severe visual impairment around the world. And if we focus on Canada about the financial helps or budgets, it's during last 6 years, almost over $6 billion spent by the government for helping people about any type of disabilities. Or annually, we can say almost $1.5 billion for ongoing support for any type of disability in Canada. So what is the objective of our project? What we are going to do in Vision Guide is we are going to combine any AI-based technology to transform indoor navigation for any visually impaired people using any cutting edge applications. What we are going to do here is to use a combination of computer vision and deep learning and AI algorithms to somehow convert environmental data to provide any audio feedback so that the people having any disability, vision disability, can interact with the environment independently. So in one sentence, we can say our main objective is to enable people with disability, eye disability, to act in the environment independently. Let's have a look at the technical perspective in a very short and simple, concise way. The hypothesis that we have here is we like, as we said, we like to use any advanced AI with computer vision so that we can combine them in mobile devices or any other type of wearable devices and also white canes so that the people that they are using them can recognize indoor signs, something like exit signs, washroom, pharmacies, or any other type of environmental clues like obstacles, stairs, or elevators, doorways. What we are going to do is to improve spatial awareness and orientation, enhance safety and confidence of the people for inside indoor environments, and then contribute to better quality of life and independence for such people. What we are going to do simply is excuse me. Okay, what we are going to do, initially we have some set of signs gathered from different environments, especially indoor environments, something like the toilets, washroom, exit signs, and any other signs that we may see inside any indoor buildings. We gather them using some set of feature extraction, computer vision. We create some convolutional neural networks to train the model so that if the person who suffers from any disability of vision, when they use the white cane or maybe the glasses, the smart glasses or mobile phones, they can capture an image from the environment, and based on those images and using the feature extractions that we have already trained the system using it, we somehow enable the application so that they can extract the features and then they try to recognize the sign and guide the user based on some audio feedbacks. So in the stages that we have some researchers. We have done this stage in which we've done some theoretical backgrounds. How can it be done? Working on similar cases. And then the mobile app, the simple mobile app, which is for MVP. We have created the mobile app, which is working in MVP stage, and it captures the images and it recognizes the images. And finally, it gives feedback But at the end, we like to have some apps on some smart or meta glasses or white canes so that they can, or the people can use it for getting the images and recognizing the images and get help by the AI smart devices. In our team, I am the founder, Fattah Alizadeh, as AI and computer vision specialist. And also we have a software engineer in this stage, Sumaya Maroufi, as application developer, who helped me about MVP of the application. In terms of business perspective, about the revenue model, what we like to do, what we target, we have direct customers. Actually, what we like to do, we have, whenever the application is ready, we like to give it, or in the stores, we can give it to individuals or any caregivers, which is direct to customers. We have a plan for having business to business, which is for sell it to institutions such as airports, shopping centers, and any other educational institutes. And also at the end, our target or ultimate plan is having freemium and premium models, which can be, the freemium one can be very basic one, but the premium one can be having more features and more abilities for government agencies and any accessible advocacy groups. For the go-to-market strategy, initially what we like to do is finalizing the testing, beta testing, and the prototype one to give it to some people to test it and get feedback from them. And then we have early adoption stage in which we like to give it to some nonprofit organization, again for testing and getting feedback from there. And then we will have the free basic features version, which is freemium, to give it to some the same people or the same set of organizations that we have. And then we will have the partnership and the B2B sales after this one. We will have selling to the business as shopping malls or airports or some other places that they can have it as a feature that they can give it to the customers. And then expansion to the public sectors, as we said, for example, we give it to Ontario, Canada hospitals or some other governmental organizations. And at the end, our ultimate goal is to give it to international market. About the market opportunity, we have the total addressable market, which is almost 300 million people around the world, which they have any type of vision loss. And then for SAM, which is serviceable available market, our target is almost 8 million people in the USA or Canada that they have some sort of visual disability. And for the SOM, which is serviceable obtainable market, we have almost 2 to 3% of this above population at the end that they use smartphones or they can have some sort of wearable smart devices. About the competitors, there are some companies that they are working the same and helping people with vision loss. Among them, we just listed 3 of them that they are actually somehow famous ones. One of them is HumanWare. The HumanWare.com is their website. We can see as they have explained in their website, actually mainly they are working for braille displays and using some GPS devices or magnifiers to enhance accessibility for the blind people. The other one is Envision. The Envision is mainly working using smart glasses for reading the text and then translating to, based on what they claim, 60 different languages. They are working for recognizing faces and detecting colors as well. The other one is Good Map. As it comes from the name, it is mainly about the navigation. It has a system for helping people for navigation using the map for blind or low vision navigate indoor or outdoor environments. So there are some of the companies that they are working in the same domain. But if you like to compare our company, our startup idea with theirs, we can say that based on what they have, they are mainly helping people for assisting them for navigation rather than sign detection and recognition. They mainly work on text to speech, not about image recognition as we aim for. Vision Guide, it tries to have audio feedback using the having higher accuracy for the object detection, so that the people can get feedback from the software and get the recognition of the signs, so that based on what they get, they can simply navigate through the systems, through the environment. And our system, we tried our best to have very user-friendly and easy to work with, and a robust backend, and using the cutting-edge technologies in AI, machine vision, and machine learning. About the financial projection, what is our assumption or our target is? We try to have the market so that we can sell any copy of the premium version with $50 per each user. For the premium version, actually, which has the basic use and basic features, actually, it will be free and with limited features. But for the other ones, we can have different prices based on the service agreements and the volume of the users that they have. And actually, the setup cost that we have is almost 1 million based on the research that we have done. But here we like to just show some statistics that may give us a bigger picture. In USA, we have almost 6,000 hospitals, or here 1,400 hospitals. So they are one of the targets that we can try to access them. Public libraries is the other one. Shopping centers, which has almost 100, almost 20,000 shopping malls in the Northern America. So we can target them as well. And for the schools, if they have this, if they need these features, so we have almost, again, 150,000 schools in North America. So we can see that we have a very broad and nice market to somehow attract them and give them the application that we have. About our target, actually, as we said, our SOM is almost 2 to 3% of the target, the people who are using the smartphones or smart devices for the first year, which can be accessible using almost in 7 years. In the first year, actually, what our target is 2.5 million revenue by selling the number of targets that we have, but the cost is 3 million. So in the first year, we should pay 500K out of our pocket. But starting from the second year, it will be almost okay, which will be almost balanced, so 300K net income. But after the second year, as you can see, we can have the more and more, much more net income, so that in the last, at the end of 7th year, which will we have 3% of the market, we can have almost $15 million revenue, in which almost 7 million is the cost, and around 8 million will be the net income for the company. About the funding ask, what we are aiming for is almost 600K, which is in 2 parts. In the first section, the first part, which is 250K, which will be 5% of the equity of the company, and 350K, which can be seen as convertible notes for 5% or almost 7% of the equity, or 7% of interest rate. And the allocation of this fund that we are asking for is almost 100K is for application development, and then 200K is for the marketing and outreach, and 300K will be for infrastructures, operations, and then offices, facilities, and all the other costs that we may need for operational and administration. So it is what we aim for, and actually, that's all. That's all. Here is the presentation, and any question that you have, I will be happy to get your feedback and answer any possible questions that you may have.
And what's the format? Should we just ask the questions, or you want to raise hand? How this works?
The judges have first ask questions or give feedback, and then everybody has any questions can raise their hands. So you can start from Amir or Shany, whatever, doesn't matter.
Shany, you want to go first?
Sure, I can go first. So thank you for walking us through your pitch deck. I think this is a great product. Of course, there's value in it. My questions for you start with the actual fundamental challenges, so with the pitch. It reads more like an academic research proposal than a venture scalable business opportunity. And I think while the problem is real and meaningful, the solution lacks the depth of market understanding and technical innovation that is required for institutional investment. So that's like a high level feedback that I have. I think you have identified more of a genuine problem affecting millions of people, but the basic concept of AI-powered indoor navigation does have merit. The more of a stage development approach from mobile app to smart glasses also shows some strategic thinking about technology evolution. With that said, the competitive analysis demonstrates more of a superficial understanding of the existing landscape. And I can get into more details, but I would love to also ask some questions. Amir, would you like me to ask my first question?
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead and ask your question. Yeah.
Right. So the kind of first question that I have for you is around IP protection. Of course, there is this competitive advantage that claims to focus on seamless real-time audio feedback and a higher accuracy in object recognition. But I don't see any real technical specification or benchmarking. So the question, I think, would be like, do you hold any patents or have defensible IP? That's the first question that I have for you.
Thank you for your first points that you mentioned as a feedback, as a general feedback. About the patent, if you are asking if I have any aim for registering a patent, or I have done it before, I didn't get your question.
So do you have any existing patents?
No, not really. But actually, if I find any any idea later on, and if I go ahead with funding and everything, if it goes successfully, yes, why not? We will have a patent, and then because it needs money to register or to patent it. But for now, to be honest with you, no.
Got it. So that's like one red flag that I share, especially when you're talking about the technology that you're kind of trying to position it as something that is more innovative, offers high accuracy. You do want to have or start thinking about IP, and that's the first thing. I jump into funding, and I stop here so I can give me more time to also ask questions. The funding side of it, I would say, for example, you're talking about maybe the financial side of it. You talk about financial projection that shows revenue jumping from 0 to 2.5 million in year one with a $50 app price. You're saying that there are 50,000 paying customers immediately. Your total addressable market is 160,000 potential smartphone users in North America. So it seems unrealistic to think about 50,000 paying customers out of 160,000 total addressable markets. Now, I might be wrong. I might be a bit too harsh here, but I want to know what are your kind of customer acquisition cost, lifetime value calculation. What is that realistic conversion rate from freemium to premium here?
To be honest with you, about the number of the products or the copies that we can sell during the first year, which each one is $50, and yes, in the first year it will be 2.5 million. Yeah, maybe there is one be honest with you, it's not that much realistic. I agree with you, but it was just an idea. Actually, not idea, just one somehow perspective that we said, okay, it will be ideal if we can have 50,000 per first year. Because of the customers, actually the target market that we had in our mind, that we have almost 150, for example, thousand schools, 150,000 shopping malls, so that if you can address them, if you can reach them. So selling 50,000, I said it is not something which is impossible, but maybe it is not. I agree with you that maybe it might be not realistic, but it was what we aimed for. But maybe a portion of this one, maybe 50% of this one will be accessible if we have a good marketing, actually.
Yeah, so the question is not that you can't achieve it, how realistic it is, and what are you going to do to kind of get to that number. So you may want to think about your customer acquisition costs, that reaching out to, let's say, 150, I don't know, 1,000 schools or 160 malls. What is that customer acquisition cost for you to get to each of those and close one of those? You also want to think about that lifetime value calculation around, like, how long are you going to stay with that customer, and the valuation around that. So things like this are very important. And
yeah, clear. Actually, I'm taking the note. Thank you very much. Very nice and valid point.
Sure. You just want to be ready when you answer these questions. They ask you these questions, right?
Yes.
They are you. I pause. I have more questions, but I'll pause here.
Thank you very much. Very nice points. Very nice questions.
So first of all, good for you. It's amazing that you follow your dream and you're working on something to build. That's not easy. So I recognize that one and congratulate you for doing that.
Thank you.
Being a technologist, my questions are mostly on the technology side of it to make sure I understand, so then I can give you some feedback. But the questions that Shany asked, especially with the revenue justification and making sure that those numbers have merit and you can prove them, I think those very valuable feedback that you need to spend time on it. It would be good if we had a little bit more technology information in your deck, right? So if I go through your deck, is more of a, like, okay, some information, right? Heavy on financials without going to the detail if it's valid or how can you justify or how can you validate them. But a lot of financials in it, but not a lot of technology conversations. Do you consider yourself to be a technology company or not?
Yeah.
Right. So as a technology company, when you go and you prepare your, presentations, there has to be a lot of technology focus in it as well to explain what is that you're trying to show, that you have innovation. Having the patent, again, extremely important, right? But can you describe this platform for me to understand it? Is this running offline? Is it running connected to a service? Does it have a backend? Like, these type of things is going to help to evaluate your product and IP that you've created. Are you using any products in it? What are, like, when it gets to the financials even, right? What are the services that you consume, if there are services, right? And how much of that, like, you have this much money is going to be spent, but what is that money spent on? Is it on hosting? Is it on AI, APIs? A little bit more into that so we can provide better feedback. I think that would be one thing that comes to my mind. When I look at this thing at this point in time, I can't tell you I know a lot or I learned a lot to be able to ask pointed questions so you can either provide answers or write a note that, you know what, I'm going to get back to you, or I'm going to be prepared. So if you want to give me, like, a quick background of the technology, then I can ask a few questions directly there.
Okay. In terms of technologies that we use and how does it work, actually, I didn't talk about it because thought maybe it will be very deep detail and maybe it's not interesting for the audiences to talk about the technicality. But anyway, as long as you have this feedback that it has to have something like this one, okay, I totally agree, and then I will.
Sorry, my apology. I
add it.
don't want to interrupt you, but we don't need details, right? But the fact that there is a backend, right? We're using these services. These are the open source, or these are the technologies that we're utilizing to do this. So to give a better understanding of the end product, without going to the details of how you do it. It's not about how you do it. It's about tooling and the technologies that being used. Again, going to the financial side of it, what are the costs from the technology perspective?
Okay, great. To be honest with you, till now, what we have is the MVP. So the MVP is a software that we have trained it using some, for example, machine learning technologies that we have, using some of the models that we have in deep learning. So we trained the images, almost 2,000 to 3,000 images we gathered around the world. And then after this one, we actually trained the system, extracted features, different features. And then using this one, we trained the model. Now, whenever we install the software on our computer, and then after having that software, simply we have, for example, install it on the server. And when we like to have it as a distributed system or a scalable software or application, the server will run the backend, and the front end or the application will be installed on the computer, on the laptop. On the any devices that we have, any smart devices that we have. Then, whenever the user would like to use it, simply they open the application, and after taking a photo and pressing a button to recognize it, so it will communicate with the application on the server, communicate with it, which is running there, and it tries to get the feedback from there. What is this sign, for example?
That's okay. Sorry. Again, you don't need to go through the detail, but so basically, there is a backend component, right? And there's a front end component. Perfect. That makes sense.
Yes.
And if I heard you correctly, so the way it works is that you have to point to something, you have to take a picture, and then it goes and comes back. So it's not doing this to real-time video or picture taking, right? So it's a manual process. Is this what I heard?
What that we have, if we are using the, for example, meta glasses, so simply whenever we enable it somehow by pressing a button or something, trigger the software. If it is the image, so just we take the image and it will be communicated with the server in a peak of seconds or maybe less than a second. It tells you what is there. So
I hope that I'm not really, harsh on you, but this is a big issue. If I'm visually impaired, how do I know there is something that I need to take a photo?
Okay, so it's a great question, and we had this question actually initially for ourselves, and we said we can have two different ways. If it is for some people that they have a moderate visual impaired, they see that there are a banner, that they have the signs, but they cannot understand it. They can take a photo, and then they will get all of them. And then for the other people that they have totally blind, for example, when they go inside this shop and they are using the mobile or any devices, they take a video from around that they don't know if there is anything or not. They can do it, and after doing that one, the image will be sent, or the images will be sent to the server. So actually, yes, I know it's a heavy processing cost, and it takes a bit of time, but it is what we have. And then another idea to solve this one, we had an idea that we have some banners in some shopping malls that they can communicate using some contactless or RFID, something that tells you that one banner is there, automatically triggers the software, take a photo, send it, and then give the feedbacks to the user.
Thank you. Appreciate it. My honest feedback is that your technology needs a lot more, research at this point in time. There are tons of products right now that you just walk and they take video and they translate and they give you signs. There are products in the market that they do it. If you want to come to the market, my recommendation to you is that you should be something better than what is already in the market, right? So having this real-time, ability, I think is an absolutely must-have. If you don't have it and you asking people to take a photo or take a video before they can do this, I think that's going to be a huge issue to market this, right? Besides, I was going to go one step further. Right now, one of the trends that is happening is ability to do all of these AI tasks offline on your smartphone without actually having to connect to the backend, right? So that's, if you want innovation, that's the area that you need to focus. Ability to do this real time, ability not to have internet connection or connection to the backend, and be able to provide something to the person, right? Without needing this manual process. But otherwise, it's a great idea. I think that there are a lot of rooms for innovation, and hopefully you're gonna crack it.
Thank you. Thank you very much for your valuable feedback. Thank you. I will take them into consideration. Actually, it is a raw idea. I agree with you. It needs lots of work and research to be done in terms of technology side and also business side. Yes, I should work on it. And it was just a very simple idea, and we like to get the feedbacks from some actually expert specialists. And thank you very much for your feedback.
On that, if I can kind of comment on two things, maybe it's a follow-up on what Amir said. You want to think about your moat, right? For example, Envision already offers AI-powered smart glasses with similar functionality to what you described, right? And then you've got big competitors like Google, Apple, Microsoft. They have significant resources to enable this and also to provide accessibility features. So you want to think about what actually creates that moat for you to either go through merger and acquisition, so they see you as an investment opportunity and they acquire you, or they, maybe a medical company or someone in this field, a company in this field invest in you, right? So the question is, what prevents these established players from incorporating your features into their existing platform? Why now? Why you? So think about that competitive moat. Maybe this is the offline feature that Amir mentioned, or maybe it's something else. So it's for you to discover. And in order to be able to discover, really go back to that initial conversation with the customers and potential customers. Are you talking to them? Are you thinking about kind of customer interviews? Because I did not see any evidence in your slides that you've talked to these many people, or you've ran these many pilot programs, or you have validated like some specific solutions with your target users. So you want to think about how many visually impaired individuals have you interviewed, and what specific pain points did they identify with existing solutions? Can you demonstrate actual user feedback on your prototype? So I did not see that. I saw a wish list that you want to kind of see these people, build partnerships as part of your go-to-market strategy with maybe B2B, nonprofits. But I haven't seen any kind of validation here. Also, the question is, what organizations have you approached? What distribution partnerships are in place? How will you reach and educate your target customers who may have limited familiarity with smartphone-based solutions? So think about those things, massage it a bit more, update it, get more data. It's a lot of R&D that needs to be in place, but also think about that these big players can, quickly crush an idea if they have all those available to them. So you want to create that moat. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you very much about getting feedbacks from some people. Actually, I talked to be honest with you, few people, one optometrist. One, she actually introduced center at University of Waterloo. I went there. I talked to them. Actually, not with the people, just some person that they are working there. One of them was the manager of them. I talked to them about some ideas. I got some feedbacks, but actually, my plan was to talk to some people that they have some issues, some uh, the blind people or some other people that they have some vision loss. So I didn't have chance to talk to them. Yes, it is what I should do, what I have to do. Actually, my plan was to go through that community using the Waterloo University of Waterloo, but I didn't have the chance. It's back to, for example, 3 months ago. No, 4 months ago. Yeah, I went there, talked to the manager, and yeah, next step is to talk to the real people that are going to use this technology, the smart devices, and this application. Thank you. Thank you very, very much for your valid point.
Thanks, Shany and Amir, for your very constructive feedback. Anybody else has any comments? Yes, Reza, please go ahead.
Thank you so much, Fattah John. So I have a suggestion and I have a question. So let's start with the suggestion. Let me share this with you. So I have heard this pitch deck maybe a couple of times, and every time I hear this pitch deck, something pops up in my mind in terms of narrowing down the problem and the niche market into Charles Bonnet syndrome. You know, Charles Bonnet syndrome is a syndrome that people with impaired vision experience, and they experience when they start losing their sight, they hallucinate. But that hallucination is not a real hallucination; it's a pseudo hallucination, because the brain reconstruct the remaining image, and sometimes that remaining image is not accurate. So my long story short, I think if you focus on Charles Bonnet syndrome instead of all impaired vision people, that would be a more practical problem addressing. So that's my suggestion. And my question is maybe for everyone, for Dariush, Amir, and Fattah, who are more technically involved. How far are we in terms of scene recognition with AI right now? So why are you focusing on textual sign recognition versus the whole scene recognition? Is this fictional to go after scene recognition, or are we there yet? Because I'm not technical at all. That's why I'm asking.
About the scene recognition, definitely there are some software, there are some applications. Academically speaking, there are some projects running, and I've seen and I've read the papers that they were working on some scene recognition. For example, what is this scene? What is this scene? But so I don't know if in the market we have some softwares working and applications that they are really working in the market. But in terms of research and academic wise, yes, there are some applications, some researches and some actually dissertations running, and some papers are available. But again, I don't know how accurate they are and how they can be used, or how much they are close to as a end product. I don't know if the other people here, they have any other idea about it or any other answer to this question.
Yeah, there are tons of platforms these days that they do, scene recognition. They're trained as you are doing the same on a specific domain. There was a project that I was involved with one insurance company recently, and that one, for example, was to detect damages. And that was that. So you train the model on the damage detection, and you can detect damages and then do appraisal and so on and so forth. So there are a lot of vision related projects. And to that point, Fattah, what I suggest strongly is you need to do a lot more market research, right? Before you start coding and building MVPs and doing these things, because it's going to take a lot of time and money to build these things. Don't get me wrong, I've done it numerous times, right? So if you do it as a hobby, that's one thing. But if you really want to build something that you can go to market with, to Shany's point, do a lot of market research. Talk to people. Go interview, you can go and interview people with impaired vision and see what is that they want, how they want to do it. What are the products that they're using. That's going to give you a lot before you even start doing anything. And it costs absolutely nothing, right? You just have to spend the time. I mean, it costs you time, but you have to just spend the time and do those research and go and talk, at least before you start coding and building MVPs. It seems that you haven't done that, right? It seems that you have an idea, great idea, right? But you haven't looked at what is in the market, what actually people want, how much they're willing to pay for it, what are the other things that exist, and then say, okay, you know what? This is what exists. This is what people want. This is the gap. This is where I'm going to attack. This is what I'm going to do. Because if I build this, no one else has done it, or I can do it better than others. And that's the opportunity versus just building something and hoping that it's going to, it looks like, shoot in the dark, and hopefully some of them are going to hit the target, but mostly it's going to be a miss.
Great idea. I agree with you. As I mentioned before, actually, my plan was to touch some people, some visual impaired people. And I went to that university, the center for the, I don't remember the exact name, but it was the center to helping people and researching this kind of stuff. But still not agree with you. It is the important part, cost less, except time. Yeah, I will get
I got your
very good feedback from them.
presentation earlier today, and since then to this, I spent maybe half an hour or so just researching, just be ready for this meeting to see what I see. And I found tons of things, right? If you want, connect on LinkedIn, and I can share those research. I'm not going to put it here, but researchers, share those research and share the product. I actually found a bunch of products that they're already doing exactly what you want, right? They real time, enabled on glasses, meta glasses, or smartphone. They help impaired vision people to detect people, detect colors, detect signs, and it's there. Take a look and see what you can do better and where you can improve.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate if you can share it with me. Thank you.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Any other comments?
I can make more comments.
Yes.
Somebody else? I can
Yeah,
go
I
ahead.
could actually, I had a question because I mean, that's what Amir mentioned is, it seems that you trained AI based on the sign, but not if there is a gap, if there's a stairs. So if I'm impaired, visually impaired, so I mean, it's not just sign, I need to know where I'm going. So if there's a stairs, if there's a gap, so it seems that we have to buy 2 different or 3 different apps to be able to see everything that we need to see, which it doesn't make sense to me. The other thing is, I mean, if you look at the self-driving car, this is already the technology. I mean, self-driving car is see everything, right? So you have to translate from what it does. It just say this loud, just tell the person. So it seems that, I mean, there are technology already there. So I'm sure this is a great idea for specific purpose. But as Amir mentioned, I think you have a lot of competition already. So this is something you need to look into that. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Sima. Yeah, I agree with you. And as everybody said, lots of competitors, lots of challenges that I face. And I should somehow get ready myself if I like to my dream come true. Yeah, it's what I should do. Yeah.
Yeah, in the process, you may discover something else. Like it's all exploration, right? At the end of the day. And you can take one of these 2 approaches. You can think about the mode as a technology, IP and patents, or you can think about the scalability. Grow it as fast as possible, and then let somebody else take care of it through merger and acquisition. So you can think about it this way. But at the end of the day, I'd like to make 2 more comments. One is around fund utilization and milestone achievements. So you're requesting 500K, but allocating that 500K just to operations with additional amounts for development and marketing kind of doesn't make sense, doesn't align with your funding ask. So the question is, what specific milestones will each dollar achieve? So you want to think about where the money is going to be spent the best way possible, and what metrics will demonstrate progress toward your next funding round. So when they are giving you money, they're thinking about the next round, right? And you want to get to that point so that they can trust and provide you with the next round, next funding round. So think about it long term while you're building towards the next phase. The second thing, exit strategy. If I'm giving you money, I also think about my exit plan, right? What is that return on investment for me? Yes, high risk, high reward, but what does that actually look like as in market size reality? So you are talking about total addressable market, 300 million globally. Seems a bit inflated when you are considering a smartphone penetration, economic accessibility, and like actual serviceable market. So what's your realistic path to a meaningful exit? Think about that. What comparable companies or acquisitions support your valuation expectations? You want to think about that too. Technology scalability and infrastructure, I think Amir touched on it. It's a computationally intensive product. So you want to think about how you're going to penetrate across different platform and device capabilities. I don't get into that, I'm not technical, but really think about that long term where you're building towards your next phase as well. So if I want to kind of summarize things, I would say the path forward for you is, before you even think about institutional funding, I would say you need to demonstrate actual product market fit, which comes through user testing, pilot programs with your advocacy organizations that you have in mind, like the university, and really get that insight that you need and build towards that patent, I would say. Unless you find a completely different strategy that make it into a consumer good product and you can scale rapidly, then you don't necessarily need a patent there. So a few things there, and you want to have that technical differentiation regardless of optimization or enhancement. So you have the opportunity, but also you need a better execution plan that requires significant refinement to meet your standard, and standard that is expected through by sophisticated investors. So think about that.
If I may just add quickly, comment on that one. Shany is absolutely right? You have two paths. One path is I'm going to be innovative. Like my product is innovation. This is what I innovated. This is what I do that no one else is doing, right? Or I do it better than others or cheaper than others. Something innovative in it, right? What you're doing right now, I don't see any innovation in it, right? The other path forward for building a product is that there's a mass market. I'm not innovative. I'm not innovating anything. But what I'm doing, I'm going to build a product that is cheaper, faster, easier to use. Something like that is already there, right? And here is the reason that is better than others, because it's cheaper or it's free. I'm making my money some other way or whatever, right? One of these two paths. If you don't have either of those two, right, then you're not going to go anywhere. You're spending a lot of time and energy and money. You're not going to get it. Before you even start to think, you want to be that innovation, have that innovation offering, or you want to have a product that doesn't have innovation. If you go with that one, there are tons of open source libraries and platforms that enable you to build something really quick, right, and cheap. And I love to have this conversation, someday with you, because there are tons of things you can do, and it seems that you're the expert in this domain, and there are a lot of opportunities. Just needs more research.
Yeah, once again, thank you. Thank you. Very valid points, constructive points, and feedbacks. Thank you. I learned a lot, actually. Now I know that so many things, research-wise, investigation time-wise. I should put effort on it, and yeah, I should work on it more to be ready to get the real fund from investors. Yeah, I take all of the points into consideration. I took the points, and then I will actually be in contact with you, Mr. Amir. Thank you for getting those resources that you talked about. And thank you, everybody. If anything else, any feedback is there, I will be more than happy to hear them.
Just this suggestion, I mean, you can already get funding, because if you want to have a prototype or patent, IRAP has a good program, so you can easily, I mean, if you have a good kind of proposal, you can get funding, 50K, 100K. So if you haven't done that, you can do that. So that's one thing you could do. So there are a lot of.
What's the name? IRAP?
Is IRAP, Industrial Research. Yeah, I don't remember the rest. IRAP. And also there are many programs, so you can actually do the search and see there are many programs that you can apply for funding, so you can do that. Other suggestion I have is, when you drive, I mean, when I drive in my car, so the car can read the sign, the speed sign, right? So this is, this is very simple for a car, but I was thinking something that would be interesting for bicycle, because bicycle, the safety of bicycle driving or riding in a city and around. So if you have something that has kind of give a more broader visual when I'm biking, so that would be something that would be I would be interested to look into that, because this is something that you don't have it. So maybe this is something that you can think about for bicycle, something that I already have in my car, that I can see what the speed is. So a speed limit when I'm driving. So that's something that, just a suggestion for you.
Yeah, nice idea. Thank you. The first one for funding, thank you very much for finding some other resources. And for the bicycles, yeah, it's a nice idea. Maybe it's easier because it's only the sign detection and maybe a limited number of signs. And it is very applicable, very demanding for the bicycles. Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much. And it can be simply installed on the helmet so that they can use it. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
Great. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Okay, thanks everyone. The time is almost over, and we have to wrap up this session. Any more questions or comments before we finish it? Okay, thank you everyone. Thanks for joining us tonight, and have a great weekend. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thanks. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.